Okay, you just finished creating your green detail here. We dragged it to the top so that it is above your blue cross here in your layers section. The green detail is above your blue cross. And now what we want to do is we want to do these flowers on our green detail. So in order for me to see through this detail, I'm going to command click on this eyeball. So I command click on it, and that's going to toggle it visible to outline mode. So it is now on outline mode. I can see the outline of it, but I can see through it and I can see the detail on the other side. And I'm going to use my blob tool to trace out this flower. So I'm going to zoom in, and I can't do this at once. I have to do this in multiple steps here. So each color of the flower needs to be done in a different step. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to show you how to create guidelines. So right now, if I undo my guide and I bring my tile back up, and I command click on it to bring it to outline, I can see these lines would make nice outline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that layer, and I can come over here up to edit and go copy, or I can hit command C. I'm going to then go into my guides layer. I'm just going to create a new one since I already have that one, and I'm going to come back up to edit, and I'm going to paste in place. I'm not just going to paste it, I have to paste it in place, and that's going to put it directly on top of where the other one was. And now I'm going to hide this tile layer, and now I'm going to double click on this to rename it guides. So I double clicked on that new layer I created, I named it guides. I now have this tile in there, and what I want to do is I want to select that tile, and I want to come up here to view, and I want to come down to guides, and I want to say make guides. And what that did was it made all the outline of those tiles guidelines. I still have my tile here, and if I command click on that eyeball to bring it visible, you can see, okay, I have my tile, but I also have guidelines on top of it, and I can hide my guides if I want. And that's going to help you in your alignment of these flowers here. So I have my guides. I'm going to command click on my tile to kind of hide that, so I have the outline mode of that. I have the outline mode of my green detail, and now I'm ready to do this flower here. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to do the blue part here first. So I come over to my blob brush. We've been using the blob brush for a lot of different stuff now, and a couple things that students will do wrong. One, they're going to trace it like this, and then come around, and they're going to fill this in. There you go, I'm done. Well, you're not done yet, because I need this to cross over your center part here, because these two are going to be merged at one point. So just get it to cross over this center line that you just made. Okay, and if you need to fix anything, you can always come over here with your smooth tool. If it's not looking very smooth, and just try to smooth it out a little better. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. I'm now going to change the color, so I'm going to change the fill color to this deep blue. I'm going to change the stroke color to black, and it's 1 point, so 1 point stroke. And it's overlapping here a little bit so that when we reflect it over, we can shape build these together and they're connected. So I'm done that. I can now go back to my blob tool and I can pick another color. If This color is in the way, meaning I can't see underneath it. You can come over here to your layers and notice I'm making it in my guides layer. So what I need to do is create a new layer. I'm going to double click on that layer to rename it, and I'm going to name it flower, and I'm going to drag this drawing up to my flower so it's not in my guides anymore. Expand flower, and I'm just going to turn off that blue detail so I can see underneath it. I have my blob tool. Remember, you can use your brackets. The left bracket will make it smaller, the right bracket will make the brush head bigger. I'm going to start on the opposite side of my center line, and I'm just going to drag it along here. Once I've done that, I'm going to make my brush head a little bigger and just fill it in. Okay, once it's filled in, I'm going to come up here to the color, and I'm going to change it to, I think it's this dark brown here, and then I'm going to give it a stroke of black and 1 point. Okay, so I have that done. I have my blue done, and now I'm going to do this flower up here. So I'm going to start out here and drag it along. I'm making sure that I'm over that center line there, and I fill it in. And once I fill it in, I'm going to give it a color. I'm going to give it the same color as down below, and that is stroke. Sorry, so that's a black stroke, and then I need to give it a fill cover of that. And the last part that I have is just the center part of this flower. So I'm going to click the eyeball over here. So under my flower layer, I'm going to go to the path right here. I need to hide that so I can see underneath it, and then I'm going to trace this out. I'm crossing over that center line so that when I reflect it, they will overlap each other. I'm going to come back up, change the color to yellow, and stroke to black. And then I'm going to come back to my layers, and I'm going to expand all. Now I want my blue one on top, so I'm going to drag that up, and I think that looks good. So I have all my pieces here. What I need to do now is I need to reflect it, and I need to reflect it off of this center point. So I'm going to come over to my reflect tool. It is hidden underneath my rotate tool. It's nestled underneath it. Now I'm on my reflect tool, so I can't select things, but if I hold the command key down on my keyboard, now notice my black arrow pops up. I can click objects. If I hold the shift key down with the command key, I can select multiple objects. When I let go of those two keys, I am now back to my reflect tool. And I want to reflect based off of this guide right here. So I'm going to option click on that guide, drag this up so you can see. I want to preview it. Well, that's not right. So maybe I'll do horizontal. Okay, horizontal looks right. Now, before I hit copy, I'm just going to show you something. So if I hit Command K, my constraint angle right now is at 45. Well, if I put it at 0, and this happens to people, so if your constraint angle is at 0, you're drawing everything normal, your square looks normal, everything's coming out okay. But if I actually try to reflect with a constraint angle at 0, and I hold option, select that guide, it's not letting me reflect it off that 45-degree angle. So I have to hit cancel. If that is happening, check your constraint angle. So hit Command K, make sure your constraint angle is at 45. And now when I option click on that and I hit horizontal, oh, look, it looks like it's working. And I'm going to hit copy so that I have two. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click off so that nothing is selected, and I'm going to click my shape builder tool over here. And with my shape builder tool, I want to start building shapes. So I have to hold my command key down because I'm in shape builder, but I need to select what I want to shape build. So I hold my command key down, I select this. To select multiple objects, I hold the command key and the shift key down. So I have the command and shift held down on the keyboard, and I can now select multiple objects. I let go of the command and shift key on my keyboard, and now my shape builder tool is back up and I can click and drag through. Now it got rid of that one path here, and you might be going, oh no, what happened to it? Well, it's just down here, it's lower, and if I just click and drag it up, it's now above the petals of the flower. So now what I want to do, I'm in my shape builder tool, I need to select something new. I'm going to hit my command key and I'm going to click off so nothing is selected, and now I'm going to click back in and I'm going to select these two objects. I'm holding the command and shift key to select multiple objects. I let go of those. I go back into my shape builder tool and I shape build. Now notice some weirdness going on down here. So what I want to do, well, a couple things. One, it changed the color of it, and two, I have these extra paths. So first I'm just going to delete these extra paths, and once those extra paths are deleted, I'm now going to click on here and I'm just going to change my fill color back to where it was supposed to be, yellow. And why? Hold on, it's not working. So I select it, I come up here, change the fill color. Oh, that was weird why that happened. I'm not sure what went on there, but change it back, so I'm good to go there. I'm now going to select these two objects, hold the command and shift key. They're both selected. I am not in my shape builder tool, so I have to come over to shape builder, and now I can click and drag. I can shape build those. Notice it made a weird path over here. Sometimes it does that. I'm just going to delete it. And then last, I need to shape build these, so I'm going to click by holding the command key and then holding command and shift key. I can select multiple objects, let go of those. I'm in my shape builder tool and I can click and drag. I'm not 100% sure why it's changing color, but the simple fix to that is I'm going to click off. I'm then going to select that and I'm going to change the color back to where it was supposed to be. And for some reason, I don't know why it's not changing the first time. So I click off, I'm going to select it with my black arrow tool, come up here and change the color. Okay, so I have my flower. It is fully constrained or fully shape build, and now all I need to do is rotate it around. And actually, I notice I forgot a piece up here. So I'm just going to come to my blob brush. This is going to be underneath, so I'm going to click and drag up and then overlap it with everything else. I'm going to change the color and stroke to light blue and a stroke of black, 1 point. Click off. I now need to reflect it, so I come over here to my reflect tool. I need to reflect it based off of this path here, so I option click. That looks like where it needs to be. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm just going to drag these down to the bottom of my layer. That way they are hidden underneath. And then now I'm done with flower. Don't worry about these little guys down here. But the flower is complete. I now need to rotate it. So I'm going to rotate it around this center point right here. I need this whole layer selected. So I'm going to basically minimize my layer. I'm going to click this meatball, which is going to select everything in that layer. That's why it's important to have your layers separated and have layers, and make sure you know what's in each one of those layers. So I have all that selected. I'm now going to come over to my rotate tool, which is hidden or nestled underneath my reflect tool. This is the point, my center point, that I'm reflecting or rotating around. So I'm going to Option, hold the Option key down on my keyboard, click. It's going to ask me, well, what degree do you want to go? Let's start with 90. Okay, that looks correct. I'm going to hit copy, and then I'm going to hit the shortcut key Command D, which is transform again. If you don't remember the shortcut key, you can always come up here to Object, Transform, and Transform again, and it's going to just redo what you did. So I am going to click off, and now I have all of my flowers. I'm going to Command click on my green detail, and I notice all my flowers are hidden. Well, what I need to do is I need to drag my flowers up above the green detail. So I click on that layer, I drag it up. Now my flowers are on top. I'm going to zoom out, and we are almost done all the detail there. In my next video, I'm going to show you, let me Command click here, I'm going to show you how to do this detail right there.